More on Buhari's victory and what it means for Nigeria moving forward. We're joined by Yinka Adegoke. He's Africa editor for Quartz, a global business news publication. Thanks so much for joining us. Of course, this isn't the first time he's led this country. He was the head of state from 83 to 85 following a coup. He was ousted in another coup. Why do you think people turned to him to lead the country 30 years after he was driven from power?
I think there are a mix of reasons there, Mike. I think you have to start with, what has been going on in the country, the problems with Boko Haram, which are, well, actually they're far more than problems. They're kind of a very terrible situation they had to be dealing with in the country. And one of the reasons Boko Haram was able to, really take hold over about 5 years, well, actually 6 years since 2009, is because the military had been weakened or had been allowed to rot. There was always a fear that if the military was overly strong, they might come back into power. And with Boko Haram becoming stronger, they needed someone, Nigerian people needed someone who had a history of dealing with insurgency, who had a history of dealing with incursions into Nigerian territory, who had a history as a strong military leader. And they went with Buhari this time because enough was enough as far as the security problems were concerned.
Enough was enough. Buhari's victory, the first for an opposition candidate in the country's history. Discuss for us the significance of this win and why it happened now, you think?
The win is, as you just said, really, really significant. Really, a sign of a country that wants change, a sign of a country that finally got to grips with democracy. You can have people go to elections and vote. They didn't generally believe that there could be change. And this time, ordinary people got involved, volunteers got involved, the middle class got involved. If you were following people on Facebook and Twitter like I was all week, you could see, especially over the weekend, people were trying to get this to be as transparent as possible and were sharing their voter card numbers. People were really involved because they want change. They wanted change very much, and they want the democratic process to work to enable that.
Talk to us about the issues in the country, because I think the international community focuses on Boko Haram, as you know, the economy, the falling oil prices, corruption. Those are some other issues that I know voters in that country care deeply about.
They care very much about those big issues, but it goes a little bit, deeper, because the corruption thing leads on to other problems, right? So you think about infrastructure issues. Something as basic as electricity, that's a huge issue in Nigeria, and it's got worse and worse over an extended period of time. And even the electricity companies were privatized, and it's made no difference. In fact, like I said, it's got worse. Nigeria is Africa's largest oil producer, but Nigerians have to line up and queue for ages to get gas, and that's because there are hardly any working refineries in the country. It's sort of these kind of infrastructure problems that really people get very frustrated with, and with poor leadership, and they want that to change very much.
They want it to change. Is this the man that can do it?
Well, this remains to be seen. I'm looking at those scenes there that you're seeing in Nigeria right now, and the elation, the joy, and the excitement. If there was one thing I'd want to see Buhari do in his early days, it's to manage expectations. The rot in the country has been there for so long and for so many years, and is so systematic, so much a part of the system that no one man can turn it around in a couple of years. But you can certainly change the attitude of people. You can certainly show leadership. There's something that's been lacking in Nigeria for a long time. They've had a selfish leader after selfish leader, and it's kind of made people very cynical about governments. So if he can show that he's the man who could change that attitude and bring Nigerians on board, just the same way that Nigerians have come on board with the democratic process, you know, he could be onto a good thing. He could be onto a good start.
Yinka, we're just about out of time. Hundreds, of course, killed in post-election violence in the country after 2011. Do you think this will be a smoother transition? Are we going to see any violence, or do you think things will go well?
Relative to what has happened in previous years, this is going to be a very smooth thing. And the reason for that, and he deserves a lot of praise for this, is because President Goodluck Jonathan did the strongest thing he ever did as a leader of Nigeria. You know, you could question his leadership for many times while he was president. Well, he's still president. But today he stood up and he called Buhari and conceded. No one has ever done that before. And that was a huge change. He's played a huge role in Nigeria's future by doing that. And he'll be remembered well for it.
Yinka, thanks so much for your time and your analysis. Appreciate it.